Hello students, myself Mohammad Izwan Sheikh, working as assistant professor in the Department of CSC, AIT Ambedkar. I'll be handling the subject software engineering and subject code is 18CS35. First, let us glance through the textbooks which have been preferred by the VTU. First textbook is Software Engineering 9th edition Pearson Education 2012. The author name is Ian Somerville. Okay, this is a textbook from where we are covering majority of the syllabus. First module, then we have third, fourth, and fifth module. We'll be referring this textbook. Then we have another one textbook, Object Oriented Modeling and Design with UML, second edition, Pearson Education, 2005. The authors are Michael Blaha and James. Okay, for second module, we'll be referring this textbook. Apart from this, you can also refer. There are two textbooks. You can just go through that. These are the reference books. First, let us see what are the things that we are going to discuss in module 1. In module 1, we are going to study regarding the introduction of software, what is software crisis, and then need for software engineering, then professional software development, how actually the software is being developed, then software engineering ethics, that is whenever a person becomes a software engineer, what kind of ethics he should be having. Then we have case studies regarding the various softwares. Then in second part we have software processes. Mainly here we are going to discuss regarding like whenever any project has to be handled, if you want to develop any kind of software, then there are three models generally which we are going through. First one is a waterfall model, then we have incremental model and spiral model. Okay, whatever might be the software that we are going to build, either we will be going with waterfall model or we will follow a incremental model or we will go with spiral model. It goes with what kind of project we are going to deal with. Then we will be seeing like which are the processes that we have in each development of the models. Then we will deal with requirements engineering. Okay, requirements engineering is nothing but the first phase of development of any software. If you want to develop any kind of software, the first thing is requirements collection. How actually the requirements are being collected, who is responsible for collecting the requirements, what sort of things that we are going to consider while collecting the requirements. Everything we are going to study in this sub chapter over here. Okay, apart from that, once a requirement engineering phase is done, then we go for requirements elicitation and analysis. That is, whatever the requirements we have collected, we will once again go through that and we will be checking that whether we have done any mistake while collecting the requirements and all. Okay, that is regarding requirements elicitation and analysis. Then we have functional and non-function requirements. Here, requirements are basically divided into functional requirements and non-functional requirements. Functional requirements are the requirements wherein they have some functionality to be done. Then we have non-functional requirements wherein these are also one of the important requirements which we should uh, take take into consideration during the development of a software, but they don't have any functionality to be done. Like for example, efficiency. All these things are regarding the non-functional requirement. Then we will have a software requirement document. That is, this is the last stage of the development of a report. That is, once we have a requirement collection done, then we will prepare a report so that this report will be used for further preparation of the software. Still now we have not developed any kind of software, just we will be collecting the requirements, and whatever the requirements have been collected from the stakeholders, that will be given as an input for the developers. Developers, they will not go and have a conversation with the stakeholders. Directly they will be following this document. So requirements engineering is one of the important phase of development of any software, because whatever the mistakes we do over here, that are going to be propagated towards the software that we are going to build. So we should be very careful while we are going to collect the requirement from the stakeholders. Okay, after that, next one is requirement specification. That is, in detail we are going to write what kind of software is asked by the stakeholder and all. Then we have requirements validation. Validation is nothing but checking whatever has been said by the customer, whether we have taken his requirements or not. Then we have requirements management, that is, whenever a software is being developed and given to the stakeholders, they again come up with some modification, either like they want some extension in that, or whatever the thing that we have developed and given to the users, they're not satisfied with that. So requirements engineering, again, it's a cycle like thing wherein it doesn't stop anywhere. Whenever we build something, there might be some loopholes, or there might be something which is not liked by the customer, so we have to go with requirements change. So these are all the things that we are going to deal in this module 1. Now we will see what are the frequently asked questions about software engineering. Like there are some doubts, there are something that every software engineer has to know, right? You have opted for this computer science branch wherein you want to become a successful software engineer. So before going through that, we need to know like what a software is, what is software engineering, and what are the attributes of a good software. So these are the some of the things which we should clear our doubts. Then we have to move forward. So first we will go through what is a software. If I ask anyone what is a software, then they say directly that software is nothing but a group of programs. But actual definition of a software is nothing but it is a computer programs and associated documentation. Only computer programs cannot be called as a software. They just become a program. If we combine together computer programs and along with that some documentation is being added to that, then it becomes a complete software. Then software products may be developed for a particular customer or may be developed for a general market. If I take into consideration Windows operating system and all, right, these are the software that have been targeted to the general public, wherein the people are not giving their requirements, then the software is being developed by some company. The developers themselves, they look at like these are the problems that are faced by the customers, this has to be altered and all. They'll be having something in mind and then they will be developing a software and they will be giving it as a solution to the customers. So such kind of softwares are known as a generic product. Then we have customized software. Customized software are the software which are used by the particular group of people. For example, like in supermarkets, they might be using a software which is specifically used by the supermarket people only. That cannot be used by any other organization like booking system, or it cannot be used in the education system. So here we go with the customized software. Okay, that's regarding your software. Software is nothing but computer programs. Along with that, we will have associated documentation. Then only it is a software. Just computer programs, it's not a software. Okay. Then we will see what are the attributes of good software. When we say that whatever the software that is being developed, that is good. Okay, here we have some criteria based on which we are going to decide whether the software is good or bad. So good software should deliver the required functionality and performance to the user and should be maintainable, dependable, usable, then it should be acceptable by the customers. These are all the things that we take into consideration before deciding whether the software is good or bad. Next one is what is software engineering, right? We have seen the definition of software. Now we'll see what is software engineering. Software engineering is an engineering discipline that is concerned with all aspects of software production. We'll go through the software life cycle wherein, as I said, first function is nothing but collecting the requirement from the users. Once it is done, then we go for the designing of the things. Once the designing is done, then we go for coding. Once coding is done, then we go for testing, then evaluation phase. So these are all the things that we are going through, and the whole process is nothing but a software engineering. Okay, then what are the fundamental software engineering activities? So what are the different activities that we are going to have over here? There are a lot of activities. As I said, software specification, that's the first phase. Then we have software development, then software validation, then software evaluation. So these are the various phases which we are going through in depth in the upcoming classes. Then We have to know what is the difference between software engineering and computer science. Let us concentrate on computer science, right? Computer science focuses on theory and fundamentals. Here we will not deal much with the programming and all these things. Thus, we will study regarding the theories, fundamentals, based on which we are going to develop a software program. So we can say that software engineering is a part of computer science, right? Computer science is a broad thing wherein we are going to study the theory, fundamentals, all these things. Without knowing this computer science, we cannot become a software engineer, right? So if you want to become a successful software engineer, you need to know regarding the theories, then the funda should be clear, all the things are necessary. So that's the difference between software engineering and computer science. Computer science is mainly dealing with theory and fundamentals, but in software engineering, we are just concentrating on the programs that we are going to develop. Then the difference between software engineering and system engineering. System engineering, again, it's a broad concept wherein we are going to have all the things like your hardware, software, and process engineering, everything it includes. But I can say software engineering is a part of your general process. So we can say that software engineering is just a part of a system engineering. Then what are the key challenges facing software engineering? Whenever we are dealing with any software, what are the difficulties that we are going to face is coping with increasing diversity. We know that whenever software is being used, when it is being installed, if I take into consideration a mobile phone, someone might be having a fine screen, someone might be using a 4.5-inch screen, someone might be having a bigger screen over there. The same software someone wants to install in a PC where the screen size is 17-inch and all these things. So these are regarding the diversity. And apart from this, when someone wants to install any application in a laptop, they might be using a Linux operating system, someone might be using a um, Windows operating system, all these things. So this is regarding the diversity and demand for reduced delivery time. Everyone wants any application to be developed in a short frame of time. So this is again a key challenge faced by the software engineering. And apart from that, developing trustworthy software. If you open a Play Store, you have lots of software over there, but we don't trust all the softwares, right? So if you are building some application and if you are storing it in Play Store, the user should feel that okay, this is a good software. It is having safety concerns. It is having security concerns. Each and everything. Then only someone is going to trust you and download, and they are going to use it. So these are the various key challenges faced by the software engineering industry. Now let us see what are the cost of software engineering. Whenever we want to build any software, roughly 60% of the software costs are development costs. Then 40% are testing costs. So you can see over here, whenever you are building some application, whatever the amount you will be spending, that will be like for example 60% of the amount is spent on the development. Then once a development is done, then testing has to be done. Without testing, you cannot sell any product to the customer. So some part of the finance you should have kept for your testing purpose also. For custom software, evaluation costs often exceed development cost, right? That is, whenever you are building an application which is a customized one, then what happens is evaluation costs often exceed development costs because you will go with the incremental delivery wherein the customer will ask something, and based on that requirement you will be developing some software and you will be giving it to the customers, right? So your development cost will be less, but the maintenance charges are going to be exceeded over here. Next one is, what are the best software engineering techniques and methods? Like what are the things that you should take into consideration when you are going to build a software over here? While all software projects have to be professionally managed and developed, different techniques are appropriate for different types of system. As we have already studied, I mean, as I have said, there are various kind of models like waterfall model, incremental model, all these things. It depends on the scenario, like what kind of project you are going to handle. If you are going with the games, like you want to build some application, gaming application, then just you can build some application and you give it to the users will be using it, and if there are any problems in that, then they will be coming up with a request, okay, so and so thing is, such thing is not working over there. But if you are building some application for air traffic control system or for spacecrafts and all, you should have lots of testing on that, because if some application is being built for spacecraft, when it is in use, if it is not working properly and all, then it is going to create a lot of problem to us. So we should have lot of testing done for such kind of safety critical system softwares. Then what differences has the web made to the software engineering? Now we know that if you want to build any application, usually you'll be getting help from a lot of people over there. You can go through Google, right? All these things you can get a lot of support over there. Because of this, the we can build much good software compared to earlier days. Thank you.